See you.
Yeah. Right, I'll leave that to right before you.
Hi everybody, we're just going to give it a couple of more minutes to give everybody an opportunity to log in. I know it's that busy end of the day as we're saying goodbye to children in school, so just give us a couple more minutes. We're expecting a few more and then we'll get cracking on this week's announcement. So I'll be with you very shortly. I'm on a webinar here. Right, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emily Jones. I am the Chief Operating Officer at Evaluated, newly in post as of Monday and newly in post as of the big announcement. So a really good start to the week for all of us in education. If I could just ask you very briefly to make sure that you're on mute and turn your camera off, and that will help the process of the presentation this evening. So my aims tonight are to help you understand with a bit more clarity, if we can get down to that, the announcement on Monday. We've been expecting changes for some time in the unions. I myself sit on the National Executive for the National Association of Head Teachers. We have been expecting some changes. And obviously over the last 12 months, we've seen some minor changes in the removal of deep dives on the ungraded inspections and the move towards a report card system that Labour have been talking about as part of their manifesto. Obviously, that's not here yet, but this is a move in that direction to try and take that pressure off schools. So I'm going to start with Martin Oliver and talk about what he announced at the beginning of the week. So there's just a 2-minute clip based on something called the Big Listen, which I hope you all managed to take part in. I myself did and put down my thoughts quite clearly on what I felt about the one-word inspections. So here's Martin Oliver.
We've now published our response to the Big Listen, the largest consultation in Ofsted's history. We heard from many thousands of you, parents, carers, children, older learners and professionals working in education and children's social care. We heard plenty of support for the job we do, but we also heard some tougher messages, particularly from the professionals we inspect. So, we're going to make changes, keeping what we know works well and always thinking about our mission to raise standards and improve the lives of children and learners. It's a great privilege to work at Ofsted, but it's a privilege that must be based on trust. The process of earning your trust began with listening, but now it is time for action. We will act to introduce report cards so that parents, families and carers, as well as the government and parliament, have the best possible information about the services we inspect. We will act to reduce unnecessary pressure on those working in education and children's social care. For example, notifying schools of their inspections on Mondays. We will act to make our work more collaborative and make sure we always embody our values of professionalism, courtesy, empathy and respect. We will act to build a regulatory system for social care that puts lasting, loving and stable relationships at its heart. We will act to take better account of the context that a provider is working in, to recognise when they're doing a good job for children and learners in particularly difficult circumstances. And we will act to make sure that the most vulnerable and disadvantaged children are always safe and receive the best possible education and care. This will include an evidence-based use of the pupil premium and making sure they are always at the heart of what you do. These are just some of the changes we are making. We will continue to always act when standards are unacceptably low, because children only get one chance at childhood, and we must always work for them. So, thank you to the many thousands who took part in the Big Listen. Your voices have been heard, and real change will now come as a result. Thank you. We've now published our...
So we heard Martin Oliver there talk about the Big Listen. That's based, well, the big changes on Monday were based on the feedback from the Big Listen and from feedback from unions over the past 2 to 3 years. I myself met with Amanda Spielman about 12 months ago with other head teachers from the West Midlands to voice our concerns about the massive pressure that schools were under the current regime of Ofsted. That doesn't mean all inspections are bad. Some inspectors are very supportive and are there to listen to the schools. However, it is quite subjective at the moment, and there does need to be some immediate change. That's been recognised by the government. Unfortunately, it's only the government that can make the major changes in Ofsted. Ofsted have to fall under the direction of number 10. So with Labour in power, they have immediately removed the one-word inspection judgment. So the immediate change will look like this. The one-word judgment was removed as of last Monday. So no longer will any school receive an overall judgment for their inspection. Schools will no longer be labelled with that judgment, and schools will only be called on a Monday to be notified about inspection. And we heard Martin Oliver talk about that in the video clip there. That means there's no longer that trauma of waiting until Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, to find out whether you're going to have that inspection. That doesn't remove the entire pressure, but it does at least give you the optimism that you're going to find out on a Monday if you are going to be inspected. And there's going to be something called an Ofsted Academy. This will happen on a Friday. So on a Friday, inspectors will take part and come together in training where they will discuss inspections that they've had and talk about judgments that they've made and any issues they've come across. This is training for inspectors to try and improve the system. And I'm really hoping that unions will have an input on those sorts of discussions that are happening and find out what is going on behind closed doors. That transparency is really going to help schools moving forward and also help the report card shaping in the future. And then the inspection framework will currently remain the same. So no big surprises there for schools. What you already know is already going to happen. So keep an eye on the framework and make sure you're still doing all of those things. That doesn't mean it will stay the same forever. And we are expecting to see big changes for next September. So watch this space. So the timescales, and this is the bit that schools are really concerned about currently. The message on Monday was a little bit bittersweet, a little bit exciting that we're going to be changes in inspections. Some schools relieved that the removal of the one-word judgment. However, what does that actually mean in practice? So a lot of uncertainty. Inspections are on hold now until the 23rd of September for all schools. That doesn't include early years settings or sixth form colleges, but for all schools, the main parts of education. So inspections are on hold to allow inspectors to catch up and find out what is going on in this new form of inspection. On the 23rd of September, graded inspections, that's the Section 5 inspections that we're used to, will begin again. And they will be under the 4 areas that are talked about, which will include deep dives into subjects. On the 7th of October, ungraded inspections, what we used to call Section 8, will resume. And these will not include deep dives as discussed over the last 12 months. And then in January, a consultation will begin on the new report card system. This will involve unions, it will involve schools, and hopefully will allow us to collaborate on a better system moving forward. Regional improvement teams will work on a voluntary basis consecutively and in support of RI schools. So they're there on a voluntary basis. Again, what will look like, we do not know, but that means that RI schools will have that support option. And then on September 25 next year, we will be looking at the new report card system, which will be launched. This will be alongside a brand new inspection framework system. So again, what that new inspection framework will look like and what that report card will look like, we do not know. The consultation begins in January and we'll have that 2 terms to make sure that it's right and ready and fit and proper for September. And that's our opportunity to make it look like what we think it should look like in schools. So what will remain? And this again is important to schools currently, lots of uncertainty. So the 4 areas of focus for inspection remain the same. And these are the same areas that we've currently been working under in the inspection framework. So quality of education, a major part of the inspection, behaviour and attitudes, personal development, and leadership and management. Those are the 4 main areas that inspection judgments will appear across, and they will all be given a grade. Obviously, early years will be inspected in addition to that, as will sixth form provision. Each of the 4 sections will be given an inspection outcome, and they'll be inspected using the existing inspection handbook. So keep an eye on that handbook. Again, we don't know if there's going to be any changes before September next year, but I would suggest you keep an eye on that before now. A grade will still be given for each area, each of those 4 areas, but no overall grade for a school will be given. That doesn't mean that you will not be put into a category or given any sort of extra support or forced academisation. It will all depend on your inspection, those 4 areas. If one of those areas falls into the inadequate judgment, then you will also be supported along the academy journey. Again, if you fall into the RI judgment, you may be supported by inspection teams and different groups. Where safeguarding is concerned, a judgment will be withheld if there are concerns within a school, as they are now, and they will be revisited within 3 months for a re-inspection. Okay, so very similar to the current situation with regards to safeguarding. These are intermediate measures to transition to the new report card system. So remember that we are in a transition period now for the next 12 months. So what does this actually mean for you? Schools will continue pretty much with the same inspection, apart from the removal of the one-word judgment. Schools who are judged inadequate in any area will be supported or academised. And reports are expected to be written under the 4 subheadings, sharing what has been found and what needs developing. Again, we don't know yet what they will look like, but that's suspected that there'll be quite some clarity on that for parents so that they know what's working well and what needs improving under the 4 subheadings. New Ofsted local improvement teams, as we've already discussed, will be in place to ensure schools are supported following inspections where support is identified and where it's needed. But again, we wait to see what that looks like and what capacity is available to ensure that that happens. So the future inspection. Schools will continue to be inspected, but it will look and hopefully feel different from this September. So we're really, really hopeful that this announcement is going to give schools that little bit of hope that things are changing. Ofsted will introduce Labour's report card, and Martin Oliver has stated that he wants to make a better framework and will consult unions on what this will look like. So I strongly urge, if you're part of a union, to get actively involved and make sure your voice is heard. I do suspect, given what I've been looking at and researching and on discussions with Martin Oliver, that SEND and wellbeing will form a huge part of the new inspection framework as of next September. And I suspect also pupil premium will be high on their priority list. New Ofsted local improvement teams will evolve. Again, we don't know what they're going to look like, but the hope is that there is more localised support mechanisms in place, something that's currently lacking in many, many areas across the country. So, how can you be Ofsted ready with the changes? And I think that's what a lot of leaders are asking themselves this week. Well, in essence, you already are, because you are ready for those inspections that you were already expecting before. It's just a delayed process at the moment. And the majority of schools won't be Ofsteded until October. Evaluated, who I'm currently working for, offer a membership. And this is a tool that allows schools to evaluate what they're doing and shows expected outcomes in each of the Ofsted areas. We were already ahead of the game and we've already got it ready for our customers to use. So it's starting with what's strong in your school. It takes only an hour to complete it. So it's a really short and simple solution to try and help you clarify what you need to know for Ofsted. And our reporting tools provide simple reports in PDF and Word form so you can edit them and create whatever you like to support them. And it celebrates what's strong first, which I think schools really need to put at the forefront of everything they do. From this, there's a simple and live school improvement plan, which can be achieved using our online tools. So it helps you identify what needs moving forward. Start with what's strong, really, really important. Let's celebrate what we do really, really well, and then transform what's wrong. As schools are really, really good at just focusing on the bits that go wrong, but actually there is so much that you're already doing right. Further detail can be explored and can be collaborated on with your staff. Specialist and subject reviews and reports are available to help dig down even deeper so that your school can have that clarity in big picture ready for an inspection. MATs can work together through the MAT dashboard, and it allows even greater collaboration across a wider variety of schools. And our expert team do the hard work for you. So like today, I've done the research, I've found out what's going on, and we put it into place immediately and straight away. So there's less chance of you missing any up and coming updates, particularly over the next 12 months. And our friendly team are on hand to guide you all the way. Evaluated are up to date and we're current, and we will be working over the next 12 months to make sure that our products are ready for the report card writing of next September. But currently, we're here to help you with a new inspection announcement that happened on Monday. So, if you're interested in becoming a member and finding out a little bit more about how we can support you through inspection, book a no obligation demo today with James, and the QR code will help get you there. If you're really, really interested, there is a 20% discount on for September. All you need to do is quote Ofsted24 and we'll be out there to support you. So I am Emily Jones. I'm here to help. I want to make things better for schools and I want to make time more accessible for students, for leaders, not buried in paperwork that's unnecessary. So basically, please don't be scared of the new announcement. Take your time and actually enjoy what matters, and that's being with the children in your school. Good luck, everyone.